All we've heard about for 2 weeks is Trump and his incompetent cover-up of Jeffrey Epstein and his involvement. So I wanted to make sure that we all knew exactly how deep this friendship went and how it all interacts for where we are today. We'll start with what Donald Trump said about Epstein originally.
I was not a fan of Jeffrey Epstein.
He was not a fan of Jeffrey Epstein. I've also heard quotes where he didn't know Jeffrey Epstein that well. I mean, what? I mean, then he said when they did an article on Jeffrey Epstein, he was a friend. So what's the truth? Let's look at history.
Mark, from what you know, from what you saw, how close was your brother to Donald Trump?
They were very close. They were good friends. Jeffrey used to sometimes tell me things that Donald said that were funny. I know Donald was in Jeff's office a lot back in the 90s. It's documented that Donald flew on Jeff's plane a number of times. I don't know if they ever checked, but I know Jeff flew on Donald's plane also. I don't know if they've ever looked at his flight logs. And they were good friends. I mean, I flew on Jeff's plane. It's known I was on a plane in 1999, flying up from Florida, and Donald was with us. And we were all joking around. They were good friends.
You just heard from Mark Epstein, Jeffrey Epstein's brother, who said they were good friends. Donald was in Jeffrey's office all the time. Well, you know who else was in Jeffrey's office all the time? Underage girls that he was sexually abusing. Now, why would Donald Trump be there and they're good friends and they're flying on each other's planes? And then he says, well, I wasn't a big fan of Jeffrey. Why would he say that? Because it's a cover-up. It is a cover-up of the highest order. But let's continue to go down memory lane. Here we have Jeffrey Epstein at Donald Trump's wedding to Marla Maples. He was a guest. So he wasn't such a fan. He didn't like him, but he invited him to his wedding in 1993 to Marla Maples. And then you see a picture of Howard Stern at Donald Trump's wedding, Jeffrey Epstein in the background. Oh, wait, here's another picture of Jeffrey Epstein walking into the very tacky place where Donald Trump married Marla Maples. Here we are with Donald Trump and his children with Jeffrey Epstein. So somebody you're not friends with, you're going to take him around your kids? Okay, that makes no sense. But Donald Trump has a unique relationship with his kids, which we'll get to in a minute. But when recently asked by Manu Raju of CNN, this is how Donald Trump reacted to questions about his relationship with Epstein.
Until 2005, years after this video was shot.
Right, but this, of course, establishes them together and obviously very friendly in 1999. So, Andrew, when you get all this, and all of this, as I just want to emphasize, right, has not been seen before. So you actually called President Trump. You called him directly to ask him about this.
Yeah, we were not on the phone very long. I think our call was about 30 seconds or so. But when I asked him about the wedding photo, he said, he sort of paused for a second and then said, "You've got to be kidding me," before calling CNN fake news and then hanging up on me.
It's so old. It's so tired. It's so authoritarian to say it's fake news. But he has been admonishing the press about questions about Jeffrey Epstein for weeks. He has put AI videos of President Obama being arrested in the Oval Office to distract from Epstein, but it's not going away. This is the first time in Donald Trump's life that he has not been able to lie, particularly to the triple Trumpers, and get away with it, where distraction has not been his best friend. That's how he's run his whole life. Hey, I'm this great businessman. Hey, I filed bankruptcy. Hey, I'm on a TV show, so I'm really good at business. I mean, it's unbelievable how he's been never ever held to be accountable for any of his behavior. And this is the first time. So what does he do? He titty babies around and hangs up the phone because he knows he's as guilty as sin, if you want to know what I think. And then moving on, this I found astonishing. Donald Trump in every interview calls women nasty women, fake news reporter, nobody watches your show, I'm kicking you out. He won't answer. I mean, he acts like the biggest dick on the planet. But when asked about Ghislaine Maxwell, he had nothing but best wishes for her.
The other day, a reporter asked you about Ghislaine Maxwell. You said, quote, "I just wish her well, frankly. I've met her numerous times over the years, especially since I lived in Palm Beach, but I wish her well, whatever it is." Mr. President, Ghislaine Maxwell has been arrested on allegations of child sex trafficking. Why would you wish such a person
first of all,
well?
I don't know that, but I do know that
She has. She's been arrested for
She
that.
doesn't know that?
friend or boyfriend
Epstein.
was either killed or committed suicide in jail. She's
Killed
now
or
in jail. Yeah, I wish her well. I'd wish you well. I'd wish a lot of people well.
Really? He wishes nothing but hate on everyone all the time, ever. But he wishes her well because she holds the secrets. She knows how ingrained in Jeffrey Epstein's life Donald Trump was. Not only his life, but his lifestyle. And what's so unbelievably crazy about this cover up is the Justice Department, instead of releasing the files, investigating what Senator Wyden has found monetarily, which that'd be easy. You know, check the bank transfers, who's paying, these types of things. These are easy. They're not doing that. Mike Johnson's shutting down Congress to avoid the Epstein files being released. But Pam Bondi and Todd Blanche have decided, well, we'll just go interview Ghislaine Maxwell. Well, Ghislaine Maxwell serving 20 years in federal prison because she is convicted of sex trafficking. So the only person that has the power to let Ghislaine Maxwell out of jail is Donald Trump, his friend that he wishes well, that he's never said a bad word about. I find that interesting. And my guess is the reason they're not getting into evidence and they're going to ask a convicted sex trafficker is because they can dangle a partner in front of her and say, if you say so and so and so and so that I hate and that MAGA hates is on the list and minimize Trump's involvement, you'll get a pardon. That's what I think is going to happen. Because why in the world would you want your DOJ to go interview somebody that's rotting in jail when you have the evidence in your office? You don't have to go anywhere. You have the evidence in your office. Why would Mike Johnson shut down the United States House of Representatives because he's too scared for the Epstein investigation and the subpoena to be issued so that Congress can review the files, but the Department of Justice is running up to talk to Ghislaine Maxwell? That is really not hard to decipher because Trump has the only thing she wants, and she has information that can minimize Trump's involvement and make this whole mess go away. So it is absolutely no surprise to me that he is sending the DOJ and not releasing the files. But we talked about Donald Trump having his kids around Jeffrey Epstein. That's the least of his parenting flaws, I'm sure. But let's hear about how he speaks about his daughter, Ivanka Trump, in interviews with Ivanka Trump.
We want to know a little bit more about you guys. So we play this game here. It's called Fave 5. I'll ask the question. Ivanka, you answer first, and then Dad, you answer also.
This is tough.
Okay, Ivanka, what's the favorite thing you have in common with your father?
Either real estate or golf.
Donald, with your daughter?
Well, I was going to say sex, but I can't relate that.
Really? You were going to say sex? That's a real knee slapper. Okay, here is how he talked about her in an interview with Howard Stern.
Ivanka.
Yeah.
She's 6 feet tall. She's got the best body.
By the way, your daughter.
She's beautiful.
Can I say this? A piece of ass.
Yeah.
She looks more voluptuous than ever.
She's actually always been very voluptuous.
It's
She's tall. She's almost.
Okay, first of all, Howard Stern says, can I call her a hot piece of ass? Yeah, no problem. Not a problem. He thinks she's a hot piece of ass too because she's so voluptuous. That's disgusting. Like, I look at that and I think, grab him by the pussy, bang porn stars when your wife's pregnant, have an affair when your wife has a new baby. You know, all of these different allegations from women that he has sexually assaulted. E. Jean Carroll, he's been adjudicated of sexual assault against E. Jean Carroll. So it's like, Maggie, are you that surprised? Is this just like came out of nowhere? Because we see this from a very young girl, Katie Johnson. Mr. Trump and another girl and I dress as maids, pretend to clean the room. The other girl, Maria, was 12 years old. Mr. Trump ordered us to carry out a string of sex acts on each other and on him. After he finished, he said, we both could have done better, and then left. And this is from the sworn affidavit about the third encounter where Trump raped her when she was 13 years old. Her words have never been retracted or debunked, and it has the case number. So this has been out there this whole time, but the media and his supporters, everybody lets him get away with this. He has never been held accountable. So do I believe that he was in the Jeffrey Epstein lifestyle up to his eyeballs? Absolutely, I do, because I look at his past behavior, look at how he talks, I look at how he acts, I look at how many women have said he has sexually assaulted them. I'm not surprised. I'm not at all surprised about this. What I'm surprised about is that he is still sitting in the Oval Office and that no one around him, particularly Republicans in Congress, have the balls to call out a person that sexually abuses children. It's disgusting. They're disgusting. His advisors, Elon Musk has even come out and said, oh, Trump's in the Epstein files. But that was fine with you. You didn't give a shit when you were allowed into the federal government. You got rid of all the investigations into yourself. You awarded yourself contracts. You were fine with him being in the Epstein files then, but now you had a breakup and now you're upset about it. His former chief of staff. Yeah, he's all over the Epstein files. Like, guys, people around him are every bit as immoral and unethical as he is. And we should all be incredibly worried about this and hold this man accountable for the first time in his entire life. Please like this video and subscribe to our channel. We'll be back with more news.